Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, help denied. We'll hear from a Janesville man who says his brother was turned away from an emergency room before he died. What the hospital is saying this morning. And something to cheer about. After a tough year for Wisconsin fans, the Badgers basketball team is providing some solid entertainment. We have a preview of what to expect as they tip off against an in-state rival this afternoon.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Happy Saturday, good morning and welcome. Thanks for joining us for News 3 This Morning, Saturday. I'm Josh Breiter alongside meteorologist Chris Reese, and we're in our temporary location this morning. If you haven't heard yet, we're going to be getting a new home that'll be coming up in the next few months here. So lots of excitement going on. So now we're just kind of hanging out in the newsroom.
But you know what? The newsroom looks good. It's good to spend some time in the newsroom. What also looks good is your forecast for today. We just have a little bit of cloud cover to get through first. Eventually, though, I do think the dry air wins out. Here's a live look outside right now, looking rather gray. The cloud cover came with a little bit warmer air as well, so we have warmed up from 14 to 24 this morning, a 10-degree jump just because some cloud cover actually rolled in. It brought in a little bit of warmer air to the picture as well, but that cloud cover is mainly confined to the south and western portions of the state, gradually moving north. We'll see how long it takes for the drier air to win out with that cloud cover today. But in the meantime, you can see where it is with temperatures in the 20s. -1 right now in Eau Claire, 6 now in Black River Falls. Black River Falls was all the way at -5, folks. They are now at 6 degrees. So the cloud cover really bringing in some of those warmer temperatures. And as we go into the afternoon, I do think we'll see a high right around 27 degrees, especially being mostly sunny. So we'll take it. It's a colder Saturday out there, but you know it could be worse.
The sunshine's always good.
Yes, it is.
All right, Chris, thank you. In the news this morning, the man who killed his pregnant wife and 2 children in Colorado has been transferred to a Wisconsin prison. Chris Watts pleaded guilty last month in a Colorado courtroom to first-degree murder. He was given 5 life sentences with no possibility of parole. Authorities say earlier this week he had been transferred outside of Colorado for his own safety. Online records show he is now in the Wisconsin Department of Correction System. A former campaign aide to President Trump is free this weekend after his release from a federal prison camp in Wisconsin. George Papadopoulos spent 10 days at the federal prison in Oxford for lying to investigators about his contact with individuals tied to Russia during the 2016 presidential campaign. He will now undergo 12 months of supervised release. He also must serve 200 hours of community service within a year and pay a fine. A former Madison police officer will spend the next 30 days in jail for drunk driving with a child in the car. Kelly Heft was sentenced in Dane County Court. Her license was revoked for 14 months. She's also required to have an ignition interlock device for 14 months. A Janesville hospital is being accused of turning away a suicidal patient from the ER who later took his own life. Mercy Hospital is refusing to confirm whether or not Jim Brisky was sent home from the emergency room in May of 2016. That's the same day he took his life by jumping into the Rock River. The hospital, however, did release a statement saying they can't comment on those specifics of any one patient. State law does not allow them to keep a patient if they want to leave voluntarily. Brisky's brother is now speaking out, calling it disheartening to think the hospital would do something like this.
It's frustrating to think that this hospital that has been in the community forever, started here in this community, and one of its own citizens comes there for help and nothing happens.
To watch that full interview with Brian, you can just go to our website, channel3000.com. UW-Madison is joining more than 100 other college campuses across the country to try and make the university more accessible to anyone who wants to go there. The goal is to close the achievement gap in Wisconsin and beyond and hand out hundreds of thousands more degrees over the next decade. There are a number of efforts already happening to achieve that, including Bucky's Tuition Promise, which guarantees 4 years of scholarship aid for students from low-income families and also help for first-generation transfers to the UW. Nationally, the group of universities hope to enroll 3 million students who otherwise might have not gone to college. UW Hospital says a flush of its hot water lines was a success. This as the hospital continues to rebound from a small outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. In total, the hospital says it has identified 11 cases of patients developing the severe type of pneumonia. 4 of those patients are still being treated at the UW hospital, and 6 have either been discharged and are being treated at outpatient facilities. One person who had been hospitalized for serious health conditions died last week. 2 years and $30 million later, the Madison Municipal Building is ready to reopen to the public today. The project took more than 50,000 hours of labor to complete, with crews working 40 out of 60 Saturdays to get the job done. All interior demolition was done by hand because crews didn't want to risk damaging any of the fragile framework put in place when the building first opened in the 1920s. While this new project cost a lot, the new design is expected to save the city $60,000 annually on energy costs. You can tour this building for yourself from 11 to 4 today. 4 minutes past 8 o'clock right now, and we can use some good news in the Wisconsin sports world. And after starting the year outside of the top 25, the Badgers men's basketball team is quickly climbing up the rankings. The Badgers are ranked 12th in the country after a big come-from-behind win against Rutgers in their Big Ten home opener this week. The Badgers are now 8-1 overall and 2-0 in the Big Ten. Next up, the big in-state rivalry game against Marquette. It'll be the 123rd meeting of the two teams. Tip-off is set for 4 this afternoon at the new Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. The visiting team has won the last 4 games and 6 of the last 8, making this rivalry as intense as ever.
When I first got here, I'm from Illinois, so I didn't really, I was just trying to win a basketball game. And now, over the years, after seeing a lot of Marquette fans talk trash on Twitter and all these things, it becomes a win that you want, more than just a basketball game. You want bragging rights.
All of us Wisconsin kids understand what goes into this game and the pride that you take from it if you win. So the stakes are pretty high, but that's the way we want it.
Meanwhile, the search is on this weekend for a new head coach for the Packers. The Packers president and general manager say Aaron Rodgers will not have a say when it comes to the pick. That statement came after the front office fired Mike McCarthy. While Rodgers is free to share his input, the executive said he will not be actively involved in the process. Offensive coordinator Joe Philbin will be the interim head coach for the rest of the season. The Badgers men's hockey team hopes you'll grab a stuffed animal and bring the family out to the Kohl Center tonight. Just make sure it's not one the kids want to keep. The annual teddy bear toss happens tonight when Wisconsin takes on Michigan State. During the game, there will be an opportunity to throw the stuffed animals out onto the ice, where they'll be scooped up and donated to Toys for Tots. Those teddies must be in a bag in order to toss them out, but there will be bagging stations as you walk into the Kohl Center if you forget. Puck drops at 7 p.m. and there are still tickets available. A major utility company in the U.S. says it aims to eliminate all of its carbon emission from electrical generation by 2050. Xcel Energy serves 3.6 million customers and made that announcement this week in Denver. CEO Ben Fauke says the company set the goal as a response to climate change. Xcel is based in Minneapolis. They have customers in Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, New Mexico, both the Dakotas, Texas, and Wisconsin. If you know a farmer who's struggling with low commodity prices and tariffs on their exports, there's an opportunity this weekend for them to apply for financial support from the state. The Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is accepting petitions for what are known as agriculture enterprise areas. That distinction allows farmers to receive tax credits of $5 to $10 for every acre of their fields if they enter into a farmland preservation agreement with the state. In order to qualify, you, at least 5 other landowners nearby, and your local government have to file a petition. You can find more information by searching petition materials on DATCAP's website. The agency says although the deadline isn't until July 21st, the paperwork could take months to prepare. 8:08 is your time this morning. Several daily papers in our area are now under new ownership this weekend. The Daily Jefferson County Union, Sun Prairie Star, Waunakee Tribune, and 11 other community newspapers and shoppers have been bought by Minneapolis-based Adams Publishing Group. Former owner W.D. Hord & Sons announced this week that ending a nearly 150-year run of the Daily Jefferson County Union under that company. The paper was founded in 1870 by William Dempster Hord. As of now, the sale does not impact staffing, but may give the smaller papers access to better technology and business strategies. A new Chicago-style restaurant coming to Madison has been named a top choice for places to try around the country. Portillo's is scheduled to open early next year at Easttown Mall. The construction is looking pretty close to done, and while there's no exact opening date set, it is coming soon. TripAdvisor just named Portillo's the #1 fast casual restaurant in the country. It was followed by Earl of Sandwich in LA and Shake Shack in New York City. Starting next month, you'll soon be able to buy fresh produce at the Late Winters Farmers Market over at the Madison Senior Center. But all of those farmers and vendors are preparing now to make sure their food is safe to eat. The state's Agriculture Department and the UW Extension has started a series of food safety trainings. They're required for fresh produce growers who have met to meet the federal produce safety rules. You can register online for the session in Madison on February 15th. You'll soon have more direct flight options out of Madison. The Dane County Regional Airport says Frontier Airlines is adding additional flights to a pair of popular destinations. This comes as the demand continues to rise. Starting in January, Frontier will offer 4 flights a week to Las Vegas and Orlando. Those flights will depart from Madison on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. From the airways to the railways now, the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train is making several stops in the area today. This is the 20th year the company has done this. Guests will be treated to a stunning holiday light show and free live music. The company asks anyone to bring along a donation of food to benefit local food pantries. The train is continuing to travel north today, making several stops, including Portage, Wisconsin Dells, and Mauston. It is 8:10 this morning, and our cold stretch continues, so if you're headed out this morning, bundle up. Here's a live look. Outside this morning, there's the Capitol. A lot of steam coming off the buildings overnight. Chris is in next with more of those temperatures and when we could see our next chance of snow. That's when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
Well, good morning. We see lots of clouds out here as opposed to perhaps this time yesterday, and that's all moving in from the south and west, but it's really creating a gray look over the Edgewater sky cam looking over Lake Mendota right now. I do think we'll get some drier air to take over that sunshine later on this afternoon. The temperature 24 degrees right now. The cloud cover has actually brought in some warmer air with that, and so that allowed temperatures to warm 10 degrees already this morning. Black River Falls was at -5 there, now even at 6 degrees. And so we'll see this cloud cover as we go throughout the morning. I do think headed into the afternoon, though, some dry air should come in and eat out a lot of that cloud cover and allow for some more sunshine to take place. But in the meantime, we're warmer than we were 24 hours ago by 8 degrees. Viroqua 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday with those temperatures in the 20s. And the winds now really starting to relax with that high pressure right on top of us. But it's going to slide to the southeast just a little bit. So as we go into the afternoon and evening, expect a little bit more of a southerly wind to take over. That southerly wind is the beginning of a warming trend that takes place today and through the middle of the week as well. Instead of seeing those highs around 20 degrees like yesterday, I do think we'll be closer to 27, 28, maybe even 29 degrees for those highs today. Some of us making it into the 30s, especially if you are farther to the south. We do that again into Sunday as well, and I think we'll even have a better chance of seeing a lot of those low 30s if we do get some sunshine to steal the show for us. But in the meantime, one of the big things that we're watching across the country is the storm system traversing the deep south, bringing heavy snow to parts of Texas and what is shaping up to be a once-in-a-generation winter storm across parts of the Carolinas. Right now, rain starting to break out there, but we're going to be watching for freezing rain and perhaps over a foot of snow in parts of western North Carolina. Certainly a big deal for them. We're going to watch that pass to our south. We are remaining chilly and dry as we go through the next several days with that high pressure sliding to the south and east, though we will get in on a little bit of a warming wind as we go through the middle of the week. And it's not a major warm-up. That's why I say a little bit, but it is just enough that we will see those temperatures going above average for a couple days, especially after spending most of November below average. I think it's just going to feel pretty good for most of us. And then we will have to watch for a chance of some rain and snow Wednesday and then Thursday, along with Friday as well. Temperatures in the mid-30s those couple of days before cooling down once again as we head towards next Monday with highs around 27.
Nice to see all that sunshine, though.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a much welcome sign. If we can just get rid of this cloud cover, I think it'll be a good day.
I agree. All right, Chris, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
It has been much colder than usual for this part of December so far, but how long will it take for Lake Mendota to freeze over? It hasn't happened quite yet by the looks of this live look this morning, but the Clean Lakes Alliance is accepting your guesses right now. The first person to correctly guess the official date of the ice over will win a $1,000 gift card to Land's End. How about that? You can only guess one time, so make sure to do your research. You can read more about the lake's freezing and thawing history on the Clean Lakes Alliance website. That's where you can also find the contest entry form as well. 8:17 right now, a Beatle is making another trip to Wisconsin, and two popular shows are expected to draw big audiences after major announcements this week. Plus, there are several shows and movies for you to enjoy this weekend. Will has your 3 things to watch ahead on News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Lots of cloud cover hanging out around the Madison area this morning. Temperatures, though, have warmed up very, very well this morning. Already at 24 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest at about 5 miles per hour, but overall staying light as we go throughout the day. Black River Falls now at 7, Watoma still at 1, where they are free of the cloud cover right now. So that's helping to keep them on the chillier side of things. Already, though, you'll notice some dry air starting to eat into the cloud cover, especially from the south and west near Platteville. The more we can get that dry air in, the faster we'll break up those clouds as we head into the afternoon. I do at least think that'll happen by about lunchtime. We expect to see those highs, though, around 26 to 27 or so as we head into the afternoon. So, yes, a sunny day and thankfully not as cold as we were yesterday. Josh?
We're gonna die in this tunnel. Good. Something to look forward to.
It has been more than a year since Amazon dropped the first season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's a comedy series about a well-to-do 1950s housewife turned stand-up comic navigating the beginning of a showbiz career. Fans of the show can now watch Season 2. Season 1 won 8 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Comedy Series. The new season is streaming on Amazon Prime. And having friends pays. Netflix has agreed to pay around $100 million to continue streaming the popular 90s sitcom for another year. There was some panic among Friends lovers nationwide earlier this week, including myself, when the streaming service announced the series would end its run come January 1st. But just a day later, Netflix struck a big deal. Previously, they had been paying a reportedly $30 million for rights to that series. Speaking of Friends, Jennifer Aniston is also on Netflix this weekend in a new film, and it's not the holiday season with this film from the 90s. Here's Will Loper with this week's 3 Things to Watch.
May I introduce to you my new wife, Colette?
New on digital streaming this week is Colette.
You could write.
My school stories.
Yes, that could be Willie's next novel.
Are you writing for him too?
Yes.
He's made you one of his ghosts already.
Keira Knightley plays French author Gabrielle Colette, who fights to reclaim her novels, which are published under her husband's name.
Finally, we have a success, and then you implied that I'm not the true author of it. People love to talk. I understand the mentality here. You don't.
I understand it well enough to write a book that's a toast to Paris.
You've done something important. All those young girls, we've given them a voice. You should own up to it.
Colette is available to rent or buy on all digital platforms now.
The hand that holds the pen writes history.
Dumplin', I can't be late. This cannot exactly drive itself.
Newly arrived on Netflix is the film Dumplin'.
This is my daughter, Willadine.
Wow. Okay. And
Jennifer Aniston stars as a former beauty queen whose plus-sized daughter decides to enter a pageant in Texas.
it's gonna be like a protest in Hills.
Willadine Opal.
Hey, y'all. If you're signing up, I am too.
Wait, no, I'm not the Jonah Arc of fat girls.
This is gonna be so much fun.
Totally fun. Pageants are harder than you think. I'm Rosie Dixon's daughter. It runs in my blood.
Dumplin' is available to stream on Netflix now.
I've got myself into something, but now I don't know what I'm doing.
You know that Golly saying, figure out who you are and do it on purpose.
And here I go.
Hey, you! What's up? Whoa, whoa!
Finally, continue to get in the Christmas spirit with 1994's The Santa Claus.
Once you figure out who you are, I'll give you a lift back to the mall. If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do. Yeah, right.
Tim Allen stars as a father who inadvertently takes out Santa and must take his place.
In putting on the suit and entering the sleigh, the wearer waives any and all rights to any previous identity, real or implied, and fully accepts the duties and responsibilities of Santa Claus in perpetuity until such time that wearer becomes unable to do so by either accident or design.
What does that mean?
It means you put on the suit, you're the big guy.
The Santa Claus is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Back to the house. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. When I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Some good picks there. Lots of us are familiar with the smash hit film Purple Rain, but you might not know a Minnesota man is responsible for creating the iconic guitar Prince uses. In the 80s, Prince stopped in Dave Ruzin's guitar shop in Minneapolis, liked his work, and requested a unique guitar for the movie. When Prince died in 2016, Ruzin saw a surge in people wanting to buy replicas of the iconic cloud guitar, so he got it trademarked in February. Now the Prince estate is actually suing Ruzin over the design, asking him to stop making it. Ruzin says the guitars are not only a joy but a livelihood. He makes about $8,000 for each one and doesn't want it to turn into a legal battle. A Beatle is making another trip to Wisconsin. Paul McCartney will perform at Lambeau Field this summer as part of his Freshen Up tour. The Green Bay Packers and Live Nation announced the June 8th concert this week. This will be McCartney's first ever concert in Green Bay.
It is kind of fitting, in our 100th season, where we're really looking back and celebrating the history of the Packers. There's no question. I think this will be a memorable evening.
McCartney will also be performing in Madison on June 6th. Tickets will go on sale Monday, December 10th at 10 a.m. Did you know Walt Disney grew up just a few hours away from us in Chicago? Well, this week he would have been 117 years old. To celebrate, there was a ribbon cutting at his childhood home, which had been stripped down and renovated over the past 5 years. A couple heard the home had been converted to a duplex and was in bad condition, so they worked to restore it to how it was when Walt and his 4 siblings were living there. His father built the home and his mother designed it. A donation by the Walt Disney Company made the renovations possible. Cool story there. 8:27 right now. There's more real news ahead on News 3 this morning. Coming up, the new honor for a popular Chicago chain now hiring in Madison. And before you give an animal as a gift this holiday, shelters are reminding you of the lifelong commitment it takes to raise a pet. What to know before you adopt when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns. Finding a home for the holidays. There are hundreds of pets in local shelters this time of year hoping for an owner to call their own. But before you give a dog or cat as a gift, there are some things you should know.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 8:30 on this December 8th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking more cold temperatures this morning, but first let's get you caught up on what's making news this morning. The man who killed his pregnant wife and 2 children in Colorado has been transferred to a Wisconsin prison. Chris Watts pleaded guilty last month in a Colorado courtroom to first-degree murder. He was given 5 life sentences with no possibility of parole. Authorities said earlier this week he had been transferred outside of Colorado for his own safety. Online records show he is now in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections system. UW-Madison is joining more than 100 other college campuses around the country to try and make the university more accessible to anyone who wants to go there. The goal is to close the achievement gap in Wisconsin and beyond. They also hope to hand out hundreds of thousands more degrees over the next decade. There are a number of efforts already happening to achieve that, including Bucky's Tuition Promise, which guarantees 4 years of scholarship aid for students from low-income families, and help for first-generation transfers to the UW. After starting the year outside of the top 25, the Badgers men's basketball team is quickly climbing up the rankings. The Badgers are now 8-1 overall and 2-0 in the Big Ten. Next up, the big in-state rivalry game against Marquette. Tip-off is set for 4 o'clock this afternoon at the new Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. Our very own Melissa Kim will have highlights tonight on News 3 at 10. A new Chicago-style restaurant coming to Madison's east side has been named a top choice for places to try across the country. TripAdvisor just named Portillo's the #1 fast casual restaurant in the country. It was followed by Earl of Sandwich in LA and Shake Shack in New York City. Portillo's is scheduled to open in Madison early next year at East Town Mall. The construction is pretty close to being done. While there's no exact opening date set, it is coming soon. They just posted on their website this week that they are hiring. 8:33 right now, and Chris, another cold start out there, but that sun is going to feel pretty good today.
Yeah, if we can get some of that sun to break through the cloud cover as well. That cloud cover has been pesky this morning, but I do think we will see some of that. 24 degrees right now with the cloud cover out there. Winds coming out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. Here's satellite. You see where the cloud cover really is, coming from the south and west, inching its way towards the north and east as we go through the morning. Already just a little bit of dry air coming into parts of Iowa near Dubuque as well. And I do think that's what's going to allow for more of that sunshine as we head into the afternoon. The temperatures across the state fairly cold, especially away from that cloud cover. 12 in Green Bay right now, and then 10 in Stevens Point, 12 in Wausau as well, 6 in Superior. We come closer to home. Wautoma is at 1, Camp Douglas at 5, and Black River Falls at 7. But then Janesville is at 27. Same for our friends over in Mineral Point. So you are seeing that the cloud cover is actually bringing in a leading edge of a little bit of some warmer air into the picture. Expect those highs to top out right around 27 as we do head into the afternoon and evening. Let's talk traffic. A lot of folks maybe headed out this morning. Right now, this is the Beltline at Park Street. You see a few cars out there, but no issues are showing up. So far, we are pretty much all green other than a few brake lights showing up inbound on Park Street as you get closer towards the Isthmus, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 8:34 is your time, and it's also the time of year for gift giving, and many kids dream about waking up to see a cute puppy or kitty under the Christmas tree. But before you put that red bow on, there are some things you should know. Here's Veronica Ortega.
Local shelters and rescues hope to find all the animals a home for the holidays.
I would love to come in around Christmas Day and hear no pets here at the shelter, to have like a silent night, the animals in their new homes, warm and cuddly, and our shelter totally empty of adoptable pets.
Not just any home will do. Adoption specialists want the dogs and cats to go to forever homes.
Whether they're a puppy or a senior, a kitten or an older cat that has special needs, we don't want them going home for a few months and then the novelty wears off and they end up back here in the shelter.
Sam Wise has been at the shelter for more than a year. He loves being around people.
He has a special needs cat, but all special needs animals give the same amount of love as, a normal animal.
This big fur ball is Zion. He came in as a stray with a severe eye infection, but has come a long way.
He's doing great. He looks great. He's around 5 years old, full of energy, and he's just an absolute sweetheart.
Owning a pet is a big responsibility that includes not only food and shelter, but also walks outside, trips to the vet, and so much more. Forever means loving them when they are young and healthy, and as they get older and start to slow down.
At the end of the day, these pets just need loving families that are going to cuddle with them, but also give them their space if they need it, but really are just somebody there to be an advocate for them and to care for them.
Patience is encouraged because it might take some animals longer to adjust, but when they do, you can expect unconditional love in return.
Veronica Ortega reporting. The Dane County Humane Society is reducing the price for some of its cats this weekend. According to a Facebook post, the fees are just $5 for all adult cats going through tomorrow. The Humane Society has more than 30 adult cats listed on its website that are looking for homes for the holidays. We have a heads up for people who already own a dog. There's a recall for 8 different kinds of dog food that could kill your pet. The FDA says certain kinds of dry dog food have toxic levels of vitamin D, which can cause vomiting, increase urination, excessive drooling, and weight loss. If your dog eats enough of it, the vitamin could cause kidney failure or even death. And here's a list of all 8 brands under that recall, including Nutrisca, Natural Life, and Kroger. You can also find this list on the Channel 3000 mobile app. The Wisconsin Badgers volleyball team is heading to the Elite Eight. The Badgers beat the San Diego Toreros in 3 sets yesterday at Huff Hall in Illinois. Number 6 Wisconsin will now play number 3 Illinois in the regional finals. The Badgers and the Illini have split the regular season series at 1 match apiece. The 2 teams will play at 3 p.m. today at the University of Illinois. The winner of that game heads to Minneapolis for the Final Four. 8:37 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the family. From a funky Christmas celebration to a feel-good show for people just trying to escape the holiday entertainment, we are breaking down what's happening around the Madison area when your Weekend 608 is coming up on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
And we still have the cloud cover out there. Looks like it's not going away anytime soon. Soon being like the next couple minutes. But we're going to keep some of that around for the morning. Temperatures are at 24 degrees, 27 down towards Mineral Point, 26 in Boscobel right now as well. Without the cloud cover, though, man, we are such colder. 1 in Watoma. Think about that for a temperature spread that we have across the state right now. From 1 in Watoma all the way to 27 in Mineral Point. And that's not just the state, but the viewing area as a whole. Yep, clouds can do that. There's something magical about those coming on into the picture. Now, as we go into the afternoon, I do think we'll see a bit more sunshine. Temperatures should be topping out right around 27 degrees this afternoon, which thankfully is not as cold as we were yesterday.
I think you were mentioning that snowpack is having a little bit of an impact in some of those areas as well.
It is, and that's one of the things working to keep some spots cooler. When you have that snowpack, it actually acts like ice on the ground in the environment. So
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you. What is the weekend in the 608?
And here's a look at what's going on in and around the Madison area.
First off, get ready for a funky Christmas at a concert by the 8-piece local soul band Don't Mess with Cupid. They'll be playing tribute to James Brown and Otis Redding at the Majestic Theater. Redding recorded his version of Merry Christmas Baby and Irving Berlin's White Christmas. There's a double album's worth of groovy Christmas songs that James Brown recorded. Those doors open at 7:30 while the show starts at 8:30.
And there's at least one Christmas Eve theater prediction happening this weekend, too. Old World Christmas in a Victorian Parlor is taking place at the Nathaniel Dean House in Monona. It's a Christmas play combining selections from The Wind and the Willows, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Gift of the Magi, and Child's Christmas in Wales. The play is family friendly. You can catch a matinee performance this afternoon at 2.
And for those people not ready for or maybe are trying to escape the Christmas-themed entertainment, the Jason Mraz and Toca Rivera show at the Orpheum may be for you. We can't guarantee carols won't be sung, but the event isn't billed as a Christmas show. Mraz is the pop singer-songwriter and Grammy Award winner who, with his longtime percussionist Rivera, is touring an acoustic show in support of his 6th studio album, which is called No. It was released back in August. That show starts at 8 o'clock.
And if you are looking to laugh, just watch us in the morning. We goof off enough. But you can also check out veteran stand-up comic Dana Gold at the Comedy on State. Gold has had a long comedy career marked by stints on Seinfeld, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and numerous other sitcoms and late-night shows. The comedy writer, impressionist, and stand-up comic wraps up his 3-night stint in Madison tonight. The early show is sold out, but you can still get tickets to the later show, which starts at 10:30.
And this one might be my favorite. The Badgers men's hockey team hopes you'll grab a stuffed animal and bring the family out to the Kohl Center. The annual teddy bear toss is happening tonight. That's when Wisconsin takes on Michigan State. During the game, there will be an opportunity to throw the stuffed animals out onto the ice where they'll be scooped up and donated to Toys for Tots. So it's all for a good cause. Those teddies must be in a bag in order to toss them out, but there will be some bagging stations as you walk into the Kohl Center. So that's if you forget. Puck drops at 7 p.m. and there are still tickets available.
As always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in and around the Madison area.
It is 8:45 right now, and we're still waking up with those chilly temperatures this morning, and it doesn't look like we're going to be warming up much out there.
Yeah, not today, especially if the cloud cover sticks around. But we're taking a live look over a cold Lake Mendota this morning. I'll have more about those temperatures for the week ahead coming up.
And if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for waking up with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
It's been another chilly morning despite being warmer than we were this time yesterday. Still lots of cloud cover around. This is a live look over Lake Mendota right now, and it's a rather gray Saturday, but that's okay. We still have plenty to smile about as we go through our forecast. The temperature 24 degrees right now. Winds coming out of the west and northwest at 5 miles per hour. 27 in Janesville, 24 in Monroe, 1 in Watoma. But that's all right. That's all right. I think we will all warm up as we go through the next couple of days. Part of the warm up that we have across the southwestern tier of the area is due to some cloud cover that's working as a blanket this morning to keep things on the warmer side of the spectrum. We're waiting for some dry air to come break up this cloud cover. Once that happens, I do think we'll see some more sunshine into the afternoon. But right now, 11 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday in Lone Rock, 18 degrees warmer as you work your way over towards Viroqua. So the cloud cover is helping to filter in a lot more of the warmer temperatures. Winds calm, yes, but as we go through the rest of the afternoon and evening, do look for more of a southerly wind to take over. That will work to begin a little bit of a warming trend around here that'll carry us into the middle of the week. Let's go ahead and take you hour by hour. Here we are this afternoon. Expect those highs to be in the mid and even upper 20s, and you know, don't even be surprised if some of us see the low 30s today. I do think that will be very possible, even more possible as we head into your Sunday. Sunday will feature more sunshine around, and those temperatures I think will be even closer to 30, if not exceeding that for a lot of those afternoon highs. But one of the bigger stories that we are watching across the country is a pretty major winter storm taking place across the south. We've been watching some very heavy snow across parts of the panhandle of Texas. Right now, lots of rain across the deep south, snow forming throughout middle and eastern Tennessee. And eventually, western North Carolina really getting in. Places like Charlotte, Asheville, Boone are about to get the smackdown from what could be a foot or two of snow. But while we watch that pass on by to the south, high pressure will be working to keep us dry and chilly as we go through the next several days. It's also going to be keeping more of that sunshine around as well. And so that's certainly good news. But watch how temperatures respond, gradually working our way to above normal temperatures. Now, it's not a major warm up. Yes, it's still the 30s and it's still cold, but we're seeing those temperatures above average really for the first time in a long time as we go through the next 7 to 10 days. So that's certainly something to be mindful of there. That will also come with at least a possibility of a wintry mix as we get you towards the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday does have the possibility of some light rain or snow coming into the picture. More sunshine by next weekend, and then by next Monday we could see those highs right around 27 degrees. So if our weather pattern's going to be lazy, so can our pets. Here's Emmy lazing around. So cute. Such a cute animal there. 26 degrees this afternoon, though.
I love it, and we're going to keep that pet theme going. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this photo that Kristen sent us. This is Sophie. Looks like she's all snuggled in under the covers. I don't blame her for wanting to not get out of bed.
Yeah, really.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. What does your morning look like? Be sure to post a picture to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, Twitter page, or Instagram, and use that hashtag MyNews3Morning, and that's how we can share our favorites and pick them out and show them right here on the program. If you're looking for a little wintry day trip for the kids, or maybe a date with your significant other, you can start planning your trip to see the ice castles in Lake Geneva. They're not being done constructed yet, but you can book your tickets early at a 20% off discount. The pre-sale is going on now through December 12th at the link on your screen. And if you think it's cold in our area this weekend, at least we don't have ice fog. Check this out. It'll only form when the humidity is near 100% and temperatures are below freezing. People in northern China are experiencing that right now, having some fun by tossing hot water into the air and watching it instantly turn into ice crystals. Always some good video there. 8:52 right now. When the news is back at 6:30 tomorrow morning, UW Veterinary Clinic may be on the verge of a new cancer treatment for dogs. We'll have a look at those trials and some of the risks and rewards along with it. That's on News 3 This Morning Sunday. But first on our news this morning, taking on his own town. What happens when a 9-year-old finds out his hometown has a ban on snowball fights? He takes them on. News 3 This Morning Saturday will return in a moment. Welcome back. This next story, it isn't about your average snowball fight. A 9-year-old boy is finding out his hometown had a ban against throwing snowballs. How about that?
I know, and you know what? The 9-year-old won his battle. Ileana Diaz has the story.
Like most kids, Dane Best loves a good snowball fight, so he was shocked when he found out it was illegal to throw a snowball in Severance, Colorado.
We went on a field trip to the town hall and they told us that you can't throw snowballs in Severance.
It's in the town code.
It says no missiles, and snowballs are perceived as that.
So Dane started a petition and letter writing campaign.
It's an outdated law, and I want to throw a snowball without getting in trouble.
Monday night, he made his case before the town board.
They're fun when it's winter out, and there's really nothing else to do except for sledding.
Members of the board voted unanimously to lift the ban.
Not all laws are perfect, and not all ordinances are perfect, and I appreciate you finding the hiccup in that.
We're proud of him for taking the initiative to make some change, how small it may be.
Dane says now that snowball fights are legal, his first target will be his brother. Ileana Diaz, CBS News.
Town officials stressed the ban on snowballs was never enforced. Dane says he hasn't ruled out running for office himself one day.
Still can't believe that.
I know, that's crazy. It became such a hit last week with the socks. We're showing them off again this morning. We've got the Christmas socks going on.
Saturday socks and sweaters. That's what we're calling it at this point. Hey, even maybe some sunshine added to the mix. We'll have to watch for that later. Right now, though, we do have a lot of cloud cover out there. I do think that the cloud cover will eventually get eaten away. We will watch that. Time will tell. The temperature's staying in the 20s today. Some of us could make it into the lower 30s. I do think there's a better chance to do that Sunday into Monday, but still we're forecasting a high right around 29 degrees here in Madison. By 33 on Tuesday, I think we're going to be breaking the shorts out, but then we have a chance for some rain and snow as we head into Thursday and Friday. We'll be watching that closely.
Put those socks and sweaters on and send us some pictures. We'll see you tomorrow morning from 6:30 to 8. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.